Did you get K6KOI?
KB6, OKJ.
And 6 Kilo Norway.
Yeah, I have you, Rocco. And I don't know, maybe John's not hearing me. I have him. And I got Paul. And I'm trying to pick out the other three stations that are calling, but they all keep on calling on top of each other, so I can't pull them out.
K6RCL. Kilowatt 6R radio Charles L.
KG7TR.
Whiskey 6 Delta Quebec, W6DQ and KF6QNG.
November 4 Delta Lima.
Okay, I'm just going to take what I have right now that I can copy, and then I may have to get someone else to take early check-ins. First, Rocco, N6KN, how are you doing? And thank you very, very much for hosting the barbecue. It was I really enjoyed the day. Go ahead.
Oh, that was a ton of fun, Mark, and thank you for helping with everything. It really was a delight. Listen, I'm having some receiver problems, or maybe, John, KOI, do you hear intermittence on Mark's signal?
Well, he's so weak, Rocco, it's hard for me to tell.
It may be my receiver. Anyway, Mark, I'm working on that Globe Scout Deluxe that you very kindly gave to me, and that's been an adventure. I'll tell you about it when I get it working, but it's been fun. NU6X from N6KN.
Oh, so it wasn't functional, huh?
Oh, it has problems, and the main problem, and it caused a lot of others, that somebody put a 15-ampere fuse in there. Over.
Oh boy. Well, it sure looked pretty from the outside, didn't it?
Yeah, it sure did.
Yeah, and your signal's coming up. You, I can hear pretty well. Let me see if I can hear John. K6KOI. You're way down in the noise. Is your amplifier on?
It is, and you are now quite a bit better. So I think conditions are improving, Mark. And yes, I'm using the Swan Mark II, running about 1,000 watts CET, and I copied you that Turler quite well. So back to you. NU6X, did you call that guy, K6KOI?
No, I read the email and got his phone number, but then I had to leave right away. But I'm going to call him after I take early check-ins. I'm going to have to get out of this chair because my back is absolutely killing me. So I'm not going to stick around for the roundtable, but I'll give him a call. And so he's in Gilbert. And my computer keeps on malfunctioning here too. So yeah, I'll give him a call, and I mean, he's talking about a home brew amplifier, but I hope he knows we're talking about the RF2K Plus. But anyway, I'll call him here shortly. Let's see, K2LMQ, how are you doing, Paul? Are you there, Paul? K2LMQ? 4. Yeah, I'm still putting out power. Paul, K2LMQ, this is NU6X. Maybe he's tucked away. Dennis, W6DQ, what's up with you?
Yeah, hey, Mark, NU6X, W6DQ. Well, we got a 10 dB over 9 noise level here, if you can believe that. It's brutal. We're getting killed here. So having a rough time. I'm copying you, but you're running about S9 and maybe a little over S9, and that's where the noise level is. And I don't have a noise blanker in this receiver to kill it. So I'm going to bring up the 6700 and start listening on there. So, but yeah, you're there. We can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, well, you're peaking. I'm on my Burbridge antenna, and you're peaking S7, S8. But I've got a solid noise at S5, S6, probably due to the windy conditions that we have right now. So it's a little bit brutal. Lisa, how are you?
I am doing well, thank you. And weather's been nice this past weekend. It's been a little cooler today for the rest of the week, but still doing well. So back to you, Mark. NU6X from KF6QNG.
Okay, very good, Lisa. I only got part of that through the noise. I'm not going to be able to take early check-ins here. I don't. Well, I'll give it another try, and we'll see if we can get through this. This is NU6X for the Vinny Sideband Roundtable. Any early check-ins?
KB6, Oscar Quebec Juliet.
KG7, DR.
Whiskey Bravo 6, Romeo Lima Charlie.
KB6OQJ, how are you doing?
Hi, Mark. Yeah, your signal seems to be picking up a little bit. Anyhow, it's Wayne and KB6OQJ is tuning in. We're doing well. How about, sorry to hear about your back. How about 8 or 9 weeks out of my second knee replacement, and the recovery is a lot slower, so good luck on your back. KB6OQJ.
Well, I know all about knee replacements. I've had both knee replacements, and if you're 2 months out, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I had my first one done about 12 years ago, and I had the second one done about 8, 9 weeks ago. So this one is about 7 or 8 weeks behind the first one. Hi, over.
Yeah, my first one was 11 years ago, and then the last one was a year ago. And even though they did robotics and did all the new techniques on the most current one, the recovery time was not as good. We're just not moving along like we used to at our old age. Okay, let's see. Who else do we have? This is NU6X for the Vinny Sideband Roundtable.
K6RCL. Whiskey Bravo 6, Romeo Lima Charlie.
Whiskey 6, Tango Oscar Mike.
Okay, someone's got to help me. WB7RLC? WB6RLC, right?
Roger, Glenn, WB6RLC.
How are you? How hot is it out in Palm Springs area now?
It was maybe 80 degrees today. It has kind of been cooling off a little bit. So other than that, no, we were around 100 a couple of days ago, and it's dropped down considerably. But other than that, no, you're 40 over. Most people are. Dennis is 30, 40 over. So I'm hearing everything just fine. Back to you, Mark. WB6RLC.
Yeah, okay, Glenn. Well, I don't know how I'm that strong, but in between the static crashes, I can get a little bit of what you say. Okay, so we have WB6RLC. Let's see. Who else do we have? And just spread it out a little bit so I can try to pick it up through the noise. This is NU6X.
Yeah, hey, Mark. Mike's trying to check in. KG7TR.
Okay, well, no wonder. I'm never going to be able to hear him off of this. I'm going to go to another antenna. KG7TR. Mike, how are you doing?
Hey, can you copy me, Mark?
I can now.
Okay, great. I'm on my HP75 transceiver. I've done some fooling around with it. You're nice and strong here. Just wanted to ask you, are you and Paul going to go to are you and Brian going to go to the Flagstaff Ham-Fest?
Repeat that again?
Are you going to the Flagstaff Ham-Fest in July?
Well, the question is it this year or not?
Well, I think so. If you go to the website, that's what it says. July 15th this year.
Well, I've been trying to get that information for the last month. So, and where's it going to be located at?
It's at some school on East Butler Road.
Okay. Well, they haven't done a very good job of getting people informed on it, I don't think. But July 15th, I mean, obviously I'll go to that. I was looking forward to hopefully it was going to be at Fort Tuthill, but I guess not, huh?
Oh, no. It's in the parking lot of a school. And Cindy and I are going to be there. We've already got reservations. We're going to do Flagstaff Friday and Saturday night. So if you go, we'll see you there.
So it's just a single day?
Yeah, like 7 to 12 p.m.
Okay, so it's not like our original Fort Hutt Hill. That was a several-day event. Well, we'll see. I'll definitely come up, and maybe I'll come up with as much stuff as I can get in my car and put on a table.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Get rid of some boat anchors and some heavy metals. So hope to see you there.
Yep, we will. Okay. Let's see if I can get anybody else, and then maybe someone can give me help if I can't pull them out. This is NU6X.
WA9JIB. WA9JIB.
Hey, WA9JIB. You're. If I didn't recognize your voice and I didn't hear the JIB part of it, I would have never been able to pull you out. But very, very good, Bob. How are you doing, and how are things in La Cañada?
Well, I'm doing just fine, Mark, and you're very weak, too. We're a little stronger earlier, but very weak. Stands a little bit noisy. Some of the California stations coming in much stronger, so hopefully when Mike checks in, we'll do okay. But yeah, kind of a strange night tonight. Anyway, I had a little rain yesterday and a little bit today. Just, the pavement was wet today, and I think we're supposed to get a little more drizzle on Thursday. So anyway, that's about the story here in La Cañada. Back to you, Mark. NU6X, WA9JIB.
Yeah, right at the very end, Bob, you picked up, and my noise dropped off a little bit. I mean, this is a nasty noise. I'm going to have to try to track the source of this down. I hope I'm generating it here somewhere on my own property and not one of my neighbors. That's gonna be difficult, but it's an S9 noise when it's on, and it's pretty brutal. Okay, Bob, got you, WA9JIB. Let's see, who else do we have for the Vinny's Sideband Roundtable? This is NU6X.
NY6L, Hesperia.
NY6L. How are you doing, Jay?
Oh, doing pretty good. Just came home and brought some Thai food for dinner, so I'm going to check in and partake of something to eat, and then come back. I'll leave the radio to warm up here.
Okay. Well, I got you. Let's see, there's someone else just calling there. Let me try it again. This is NU6X. Go ahead. And no luck. This is NU6X for the Vinny's Sideband Roundtable, taking early check-ins. Anybody else out there? Any relays?
Well, I know DJ was trying to get in earlier. I don't know if he's still around. K6RCL, are you still there?
November 4, Delta Lima Alpha.
No, I don't hear him.
Okay, so I'll put him on the list anyway. K6RCL. Yeah, I thought I barely heard part of his call there earlier on, but I mean he was way down into my noise. So I'll put him out. Anybody else for the Vinny's Sideband Roundtable? This is NU6X.
Relay.
Relay, go ahead.
Yeah, I think it was N4 DLA. Was that you in there?
Affirmative.
Yeah, help me with the name.
Matthew.
Thank you, Matthew. I knew that. Good evening. That's Matthew, N4 Delta Lima Alpha. Mark, go ahead.
Okay, thanks, Rocco. We got that. And anybody else for the Vinny's Sideband Roundtable? This is NU6X. So, Dennis, am I getting any stronger there? Go ahead.
Actually, yeah, you did come up a little bit, Mark. You're actually getting above the line noise now, so I'm actually able to hear you. W6DQ.
Yeah, your signal is up above my noise right now too. So how's the SSB 104 Alpha?
I'm still working on getting it set up. I've been doing some woodworking, building a shelf to put it on, so it's all together, and I've got it all arranged on the desk. But it's going to be a few more days before. I was hoping to get it on for tonight, but it's probably going to be on next week.
Okay, well, just a couple things to know is that the accessory plug that goes into the VFO it doesn't really have to be plugged into the VFO, but it has to be plugged into the back of the SB104 because there's a jumper wire that's in that activates the relay, especially in the high power position. So make sure you do that. And then also there's a switch on the back that's either separate or received, or common and separate or whatever. You got to make sure you have that. Those are two mistakes or two things that I ran into, and then John K6KOI has been working on his SB104A and ran into the same thing. So just remember those two things.
Oh, that's good to know. In fact, one of those I recognize what you're talking about is that I've been going through the manuals. I dug out the ones that I have here. I was mentioning that I've got a couple of 104s here that aren't working, but I've got all the documentation, and I was reading through some of the documentation on the, for instance, on the VFO. I've got the manual on that from the unbuilt kit that I still have. But yeah, that I know I'm familiar with the jumper you're talking about on the accessory plug. So thanks for mentioning that. I will keep an eye on that. But yeah, I'm looking forward to getting it on the air. Just haven't had a chance to do it yet. But next week we'll have it on Tuesday. W60.
Okay, very good, Dennis. And John, K6KOI, did you confirm one way or the other on AK6R's SB104?
So I talked to him, and I mentioned to him that, you know, the accessory plug might be his issue. He has no high power, and but we didn't discuss buying it. And I don't know if he wants to sell it. But if he does, I think it'd be nice to have a spare. I'm kind of envious of Dennis there having a spare. You know, those cards are pretty easy to get in and out, and what a simple way to troubleshoot. And Dennis, ask how I know about that switch on the back. Back to you, Mark, K6KOI.
Okay, very good, John. Okay, let's see what time. We have another 10 minutes. I'm going to work on getting the question up so that I can get people prepared on this. Let's see. Oh, there's a nice new picture on my email of a 2024 Mercedes GLE, my model, but 3 years newer. It looks nice. Okay, that's not what we're here to talk about. Let me find Mike's question here. Here we go. Okay, the question of the evening. Let's see if I'm still putting out power. Yeah, about 1,200 watts. Question of the evening. And K6ZSR will be hosting from Santa Barbara. And so the question of the evening will be, is vintage SSB radio relevant today? Is this roundtable relevant? Well, to those of us that are here, I would say yes. But anyway, that's and then the follow-up remark that he made is a couple months ago, I heard a fella on 40. He said he just fired up his old Swan he hasn't used for years and wanted to know how it sounds. He got completely dished with, quote, "You're off frequency and drifting," unquote, and was told to go back to his ICOM. Oh, good grief. Of course, Swans, they certainly can drift. But anyway, that's the question of the evening and the subject. So this is NU6X for the Vintage Sideband Roundtable. Do we have anybody else?
WJ6W.
WJ6W. Dave, how are things with you? And how's the weather in, I forget the exact city you're in, but out the 101 freeway?
Yeah, right off the 101 here in Tarzana. Well, weather is absolutely beautiful, and I guess we're going to have some rain tomorrow night. But everything is lush and beautiful here after all the rain. So put me down on the roundtable list, and I gotta go back out in the kitchen, but I'll be back for the roundtable.
Well, I'm just checking the weather here. Let's see. I guess the rain you're going to get tomorrow night's not going to make it here. At least supposed to have some wind, but no rain. Excellent. Well, I got to tell you, there's a lot of wildflowers out in the National Forest Service behind me and around, but there's also a ton of weeds. I've kept up on it pretty well, but the foxtails, the grass foxtails, which are great for the veterinarians in town, but aren't very good for our dogs, are just everywhere. These things are getting 3 feet high, and it's just amazing from all the rain that we've had. So anyway, very good, Dave. Anybody else for the Vintage High Band Roundtable? This is NU6X. Did anybody copy that? Yeah, I'm wondering maybe that's what I'm hearing is coming up from the East Coast. This is NU6X for the Vintage High Band Roundtable. Let's see if DJ is here. K6RCL. Do you copy?
I bet he gave up.
Yeah. Oh, well. Okay, any other check-ins for the Vinny's High Band Roundtable? This is NU6X. Was that you, Mike?
You sound like you're about 10 years old.
Yeah, we have a frequency issue, if it's you, Mike. I think you're about 500, 600 hertz below my frequency.
Okay, is this any better?
Give me a longer transmission.
Okay, testing 1, 2, NU6X, K6ZSR. Hopefully near 3950. 3895, I should say.
Yeah, that sounds a little bit. I'm trying to figure out. Yes, 3895, and you're a little closer. I think you're still 100 hertz low, but at least I can copy you.
Okay, is this better?
Oh, you got to give me a little longer transmission because I'm using RIT to correct for you.
Okay, very good, Mark. Sorry, I don't know what happened. Usually this frequency is, or this unit is very stable, and but I try to use a split VFO. I may be having problems there, but right now I'm on the main VFO. So NU6X, K6ZSR.
Okay, well, now I can copy you just fine. So how was Carmel?
It did on your icon for crying out loud. Just kidding.
Oh, that hurt.
John, I'm pretty sure that Mike doesn't own an icon.
Oh, I know what you guys are doing now. You're really putting me on here. You gotta be.
No, you were way off frequency. You're now on frequency. But I think, Mike, correct me, that the last icon that you owned was the, what was it, the 701, correct?
The 701?
Wasn't it 701 that you got the first early icon way back in the late 70s? I don't think you've owned the icon radio since that time, correct?
That is correct. I have no foreign radios in here. Hey, boy, you got a good memory, Mark, on that 701. Holy cow! Man, I'm telling you, that goes back a ways.
Yeah, well, I do remember it well, and it was kind of a clunky receiver in it, but that was the early solid state.
W6WH.
Oh man, on to boot, I got a bad mic cord. Oh man, I'm gonna have to watch that.
Yeah, well, that's fantastic, Mark, because you know what they say, as you get older, your mind is the second thing to go.
That's what they say. Okay, everyone, this is NU6X for the Vintage Sidebound Roundtable. I'm about ready to give the list to K6ZSR, who's our host tonight. In fact, what I'll do is I'll reread the question of the evening, and then I'll see if he's ready to take the early check-ins that I have. So the question is Vintage Sideband radio relevant today? And is this roundtable relevant? A couple of months ago, I heard a fella on 40 meters. He had just fired up his old Swan he hasn't used for years and wanted to know how it sounded. He got completely dished with off frequency and drifting, and was told to go back to the ICOM. So anyway, that's our topic tonight, and we'll probably have all sorts of stories. I remember when I put my I was back in Tennessee for the Central Electronics barbecue, a thing that they had, and I put my what is it? My brain is not working. So, but I put a little transmitter together that was 80 meters, putting out about 5 watts, and all I got was complaints that I was too broad. Anyway, Mike, are you ready to take early check-ins for me to give you the list? This is NU6X.
Yes, I am, Mark, and let me see. So my list doesn't get messed up here. Where would you like to be placed on the list? Go ahead.
I'm not going to be able to stay, Mike. I can't sit in this chair any longer, and I need to go in the other room and get horizontal. It was a very bad back day today. So this will be it for me.
Yeah, put him after me, W6WUH.
Okay,
Did
you ready,
get
Mike?
Larry?
Hello, K6ZSR. This is NU6X.
Yeah, put W6WUH, Larry, on the list.
Okay, got him, Larry, at the end of the list. Okay, here, if you're all ready, here it goes. K6KOI, Kilo 6 Kilo Ocean, India, K6KOI, followed by our host for the barbecue a couple of weeks ago, Rocco, N6KN. After that, we have Paul, K2LMQ. Followed by Dennis, W6DQ, Whiskey 6 Delta Quebec, Dennis. And his lovely wife, Lisa, KF6QNG, I think it is. KF6QNG. So far, so good? So far, so good, Mike?
Well, I'm writing as fast as I can. It's getting hard. It's hard to keep up there. Mark, if you could slow it down, or maybe you are repeating twice, but if you could just slow it down just a bit, not much. And also put my friend Steve down there, KF6SYD, okay?
KF6SYD. Is he calling? Because I can't even hear him.
I'm here.
Oh, well, you're loud there. I don't know why I didn't hear you in the first place. But, so we got him at the bottom of the list. Okay, so do you have everything through the ending with Lisa, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, then we have KB6OQJ. I'm not sure I'm trying to remember his prefix. I think KB6OQJ. Followed by Glenn, WB6RLC. Make sure I get that right. WB6RLC. After Glenn, we have Mike, which we haven't heard for a while, out east of me, KB7TR. And my computer just went down. Okay, after KB7TR, we have Bob, WA9JIB. So far, so good?
Yep, thank you.
Then we have Jay, NY6L. And then we're not sure about this. He may have gotten pissed off at me because I couldn't hear him. But K6RCL, DJ. K6RCL. Followed by Matthew, which is November 4 Delta Lima Alpha. N4DLA, Matthew. Then we have Dave, WJ6W. WJ6W. So far, so good?
Yep.
Okay, the last two that we have is Larry, W6WUH. W6WUH, and then we have Steve, KF6SYD. KF6SYD, who we saw at the barbecue, and first time I've seen him in a good 5 years. So that's all I got, and then don't put me down because I just can't stay in this position any longer.
Okay, Mark. Well, first, thank you for taking those earlies. And sorry about that back problem. I know that it's been giving you the problems there. So go ahead and get horizontal. Maybe we'll do a QSO there in the next couple of days, Mark. Anyway, I will go ahead and start the roundtable, and then just before we take off, as soon as we start the roundtable, I should say, I will pause then for any additional check-ins. Okay? So I want to welcome everybody to the Vintage Single Sideband Roundtable. This is Mike, K6ZSR in Central California, Santa Barbara. I'm the host for this evening's roundtable tonight. The station I'm using is a high gain 3750, and that's all going up to an inverted V. And the microphone is a Shure 444. Okay, so that's the setup here. We meet every Tuesday evening at 7 p.m. with, that's California time there, with an informal gathering at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time to record an early check-in list that'll be relayed to the host station for the roundtable this evening. This roundtable meets on or about 3895 kilocycles, plus or minus. You might try 3892 kilocycles first, depending on whether the frequency is occupied or QRM is present or any variations in our vintage VFOs. To check into this roundtable, you must be using a radio that was manufactured in or before 1980 or be homebrewed with equivalent technology. Transistor, tube, or hybrid radios are welcome as they were manufactured in 1980 or before. However, if you're a first-time check-in, you may use any radio, any modern radio, for just the purposes of inquiring about joining the group and obtaining a vintage radio. This group is a great resource for finding and repairing vintage equipment. We encourage vintage radio newcomers. New check-ins will automatically be moved to the top of the list. We have a website at groups.io/G/vintage SSB with many station photos and files regarding vintage SSB equipment. Our group also has an email reflector. Now, if you'd like to access this website and the reflector email, just send an email to Mike, K6ZSR. And you can see the QRZ.com for my email address. Okay, so we also host a live simulcast on via Zoom, which I'm on right now, looking at everybody. And the simulcast is active during the roundtable sessions. To join these Zoom sessions, you have to get the Zoom meeting number and the password. So you can do that by just sending a little note to Dennis, W6DQ. And to get that, all you got to do is go to QRZ.com and get W6DQ's address. Send him, then he'll give you all the information. And by the way, The video is just so nice, and there's only a few of us there, but I'll tell you, if you were on today, you could, there's Dennis and Glenn and Mike there, TR Mike, and if you were there right now on Zoom, you could be chatting with us, giving little comments, and you could also see Mike's beautiful HB75, his homebrew transceiver. Just, I look at that, it just looks like a commercial gear. He did the lettering on the panel, and it's incredible. Anyway, you could see that. Mike gave me a close-up pre-meeting here. And then also Dennis, beautiful. I think I see the radio, the HF380 lit up over there, Dennis. And then, of course, I don't know what Glenn's using, but he's got a Swan or a Yaesu lit up. Yeah, is that probably a 101, something like that. But he'll tell you what that is. He's pointing to it. So you can see everybody's station. I'll tell you, I'm putting a shameless plug in for this because it adds another dimension to this vintage sideband group. I'm going off script here, folks. Somebody stop me. But anyway, it's very nice. I really hope that you join us because it's, like I said, it adds another dimension, and you get to see and talk outside of the vintage roundtable here. Okay, enough said. I think you get the idea. Okay, so now we have a discussion topic, which we'll call Question of the Evening at each roundtable. You probably heard Mark bantering about it and pulling my leg, him and John. You are invited to participate as part of the check-ins. Tonight's Question of the Evening will be announced shortly. And if you have any questions, suggestions for future Questions of the Evening, please email them to Mark, NU6X. And, of course, you can find him at QRZ.com. And if you got an idea, please send them in. We do eventually use them, and it makes our job a little easier here. At the end of the roundtable, there's a Golden Cup Award that is given to a roundtable member. Because of some outstandingly interesting, funny, informative, etc. comments made during their check-in. Now, before we begin, are there any announcements only of interest to vintage sideband radio topics? Come now.
I have a question.
Who's that?
It's K6KOI. I'm just wondering if anybody has any late information about how George YEC is doing.
George YEC, what happened?
He had a stroke, Mike, and he was in the hospital, and that's the last I heard.
Oh, dear. Was that my radio slipping off frequency, or was it you, John?
I don't think it was me. I think it was another station. But did you hear what I said about George?
Okay, does anyone know about George YEC, who evidently had a stroke today or something?
Yeah, I have info.
Okay, call letters only.
Okay, this is Paul, K2LMQ.
Go ahead, Paul.
I spoke to George about 3 or 4 days ago, and he's coming along, but I guess it was pretty strong, and it's an interesting story. Somebody else will have to explain what happened, but he had a stroke when he was on the air, and they used the on-the-air contacts to switch to 2 meters, and he left the rig on because he was ill and needed help, and one of the guys went to his house and got his wife, who wasn't aware of it. She was in the other house, but he seemed to be coming along pretty good, but I think some of the guys are speaking to him pretty much every day, so maybe somebody else has an update. That was 3 days ago. K2LMQ.
Oh, wow. Thanks for that, Paul. Thank you. And, boy, ham radio to the rescue. Oh, that is amazing. His wife was in the same house but didn't realize what was going there. Oh, Oh my goodness. Okay, thanks, Paul, again for that. The news there on George. If anybody has any way to where any information of what hospital George is in, he's probably in Scripps. And anyway, let us know via email there, and let's see if we get a contact to see whether he's well enough if he's well enough to talk to us, or maybe we could send him some text or cards or something. So if anybody has any information to that, please put it on the reflector. Okay? And there you go. And then Ken just checked in there, looks on video. Maybe Ken has some additional news. If anybody has any additional news other than what Paul has given to us, please insert that into your check-in, okay? All right. So with that, let's see where we're going here. I'm going to read the. Are there any other additional announcements to be made? K6ZSR.
Yeah, one more comment. They were not in the same house. They have two houses there that are a bit apart, but I don't know how much. But one of the hams went over and drove over and broke the news to his wife. That's at K2LMQ.
Okay, but there's possibility that whoever went over there could have saved his life there. They say time matters when you're having a stroke, so who knows? Well, that's wonderful. That is wonderful. So there you go. And, okay, so we're going to go ahead, and I'm going to read the question of the evening, which Mark has done, I think, 38 times. But anyway, here it is, folks. Is vintage sideband radio relevant today? Is this roundtable relevant? And a couple of months ago, this actually happened. I heard a fellow on 40. He said he just fired up an old Swan he hasn't used for years and wanted to know how it sounds. He wanted an audio check to see. Well, he got completely dissed, not by one, but the other two guys that were in the round table with him. He said, you're off frequency. You're drifting. Instead of trying to get the guy on frequency and giving a listen, you could tell they were just really, they weren't patient at all. They wanted to, and they told him actually to get back on the ICOM. So I just wonder, I don't know, you take a look at our group here, we're all over 50, 60 years old. I guess we're having fun. I think it's relevant, but I want to hear your views. But anyway, if you can, try to keep it under 2 minutes. That would be great, okay? So with that, I'm just going to take one brief, let me flip the pages here. Let's see here. Where are we?
Over to something else, but I don't know. That probably would be a little bit direction.
Bear with me here. Okay. Are there any others that would like to be added to the check-in list? K6ZSR. Okay. Were there any relays? Nothing. Oh. Dennis, did you have to say something? Okay. So hearing nothing, we're going to start at the top of the list. We have K6KOI, John. John, pass it over to Rocco. N6KN. And then Rocco over to Dennis, W6DQ. And Dennis, pass it over to Lisa, KF6, QFG. And Paul, you'll be on the next floor there. So go ahead and take it. K6KOI, K6ZSR.
Okay, thank you, Mike. This is K6KOI, and by the way, your signal is quite good. You're coming in to Del Mar. Very well. I'm on the Drake TR 7A, the one I got from Rocco, and using a Swan Mark II amplifier and full-wave loop. Well, let's just say that vintage radio was very relevant to George. May have saved his life that he was on radio, vintage or otherwise. And I think it was probably on the AM net. It's clearly relevant to all of us. Otherwise, we wouldn't be doing this. And maybe the better question, or one of the questions might be, why is it relevant? Well, it's relevant because of nostalgia. It's relevant because of the pure pleasure of finding this stuff and repairing it. And I think it's also relevant from the standpoint of education because these radios can be examined and repaired at the component level. Can you imagine trying to demonstrate what a leaky capacitor is with a chip? I don't think it would be possible, but if you learn about a blocking capacitor and then you find that it's leaking DC and you find that with your VOM in your vintage rig, you learn something. Anyway, those are my thoughts. N6K and K6KOI.
Okay.
It didn't matter to him.
Let's see if I can get on frequency.
He had a difference of opinion with you.
I always guess wrong. All right, this is N6K and Ranch Palos Verdes on the 32S3 driving the 30L1 with the 7584. Well, and thank you very much, Mike, for taking it tonight. And thank you, Mark, for taking the earlies. I get
I'll never forget it.
Comments usually from newbies, especially on 10 meters, who will tell me you're not on an even frequency. I tuned to 28494 and I tuned to 28495, and you're in between somewhere, so you need to get on frequency. You get that kind of comment once in a while. And I just laugh and explain what I'm running, and that I'm lucky to be anywhere close to ±1 kilohertz from anything. Seriously, folks, I would say about 98 out of 100 people I talk to when I'm on a vintage radio, once they know what it is, they want to ask questions about it. If they're not old enough to know or have forgotten, they usually want to look it up on the internet and see which one of these things looks like, and that's lots of fun. Anyway, I'm sorry about that guy with the Swan. Maybe it did sound really bad. All right. We'll go there. Dennis. Good buddy, W6DQ, go ahead.
All righty, Rocco. Good buddy, huh? Hey, wait a minute. N6KN and the Vintage Single Sideband Roundtable, W6DQ here. Dennis and Inyo Kern. We're in the Mojave Desert meets the southern Sierra Nevada mountains, where it's been a cool day today, a little windy, a lot windy. We had the W today, but otherwise it's been a beautiful day here. So, let's see. We're running the KWM 380, not the HF80, Mike. You're 380, Mike. You're close. It's the KWM 380, Alpha 87, SM 280 microphone out to our. Okay, I am on the horizontal loop right now. Yes, I'm not using the inverted V. I am on that antenna. I want to make sure I'm on the right antenna. So that's what's going on here, and well, you guys have said some good stuff so far. I think nostalgia, clearly, but I look at myself. This is stuff. Some of this gear I've had for as long as I've been in amateur radio, 53 years. So there is no nostalgia with it because I've had it all along. But you're right. I think there's a lot of enjoyment. It's very relevant to me. I enjoy the collecting part of it. I enjoy the history of it. The history of radio is fascinating to me, and how we've gotten to where we are, and good points about. I think you guys made about being able to work on this stuff. Yeah, for many people, trying to troubleshoot a radio at the component level today, a modern radio might be difficult unless you have a lot of experience with surface mount and large-scale integration, different types of custom integrated circuits and stuff like that. And custom you can't really deal with, but a lot of that is tough to troubleshoot unless you've got a lot of experience with it. I frankly enjoy working on all of it, including the modern stuff. I spend time troubleshooting my own projects that I do that are surface mount projects. What that's like. But it's a lot of fun, and I place a lot of value on the history of it, and that's why I enjoy the collecting of radios and the relevance of them. So it's pretty clear that I do enjoy it. Sort of immersed in it, like a few others here in this group are. I won't name any names, but it's a hobby, It's like it's no different than collecting old cars, and restoring old cars. Is that relevant? A 50-year-old car runs like a brand new car. There's not much difference. You have all the same functions. You use them on the same highway. They're all interoperable for most part. So you all use the same gas pump at the gas station. The same can be said for vintage radio. We're all using whether the radio's 50 years old or a year old. We're all here on upper sideband on lower sideband here on 3895 thereabouts, and it's close enough. So there you go. Anyway, great question, Mike. Appreciate it. I've gone long enough rambling on here. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm going to hand it over to Lisa. KF6QNG in the Vintage Sideband Roundtable W60Q.
Okay, thanks, Dennis, and thank you, Mike, for running the roundtable this evening, and thank you to Mark. I know he's gone off, but thank you to Mark for taking the earlies. Well, just because it's old doesn't mean it's not relevant, so I would say definitely. Just like us people, we're not old. Some of us get better with age, Anyway, on the other hand. Like fine wine, we get better with age. So that's my answer, and I'm sticking to it. So it goes back to Mike. So K6VSR from KF6QNG.
Okay. All right, real good, Lisa, and K6ZSR here for the Vintage Sideband Roundtable. Nice comments, fellas. And Lisa, very nice. I like your comment, Dennis. No nostalgia for me. I've had it all these years. That's good. Okay, very good. And so let me take a quick break. Are there any others that would like to be added to the check-in list? K6ZSR. K6LGL, we have you. Good evening, Skip. Any others? And 6WHK. Okay, and okay, one more time. I think it was WHH? November 6, Whiskey Hotel Kilo.
No, he's an old guy.
Okay, and give me your name again, please.
Sure, no problem. The handle is Bill, Papa Hotel, India Lima.
Okay, Bill, thank you very much. And we got you, and we got Skip. Are there any others? Okay, so we're going to go on to the next four, which is starting the list is K2LMQ Paul. Paul over to Wayne, KB60QJ up there in the San Ynez Valley. And Wayne, pass it over to Glenn, WB6RLC. And then Glenn over to Mike at KD7TR. KG7TR. Mark got it wrong here. Hold on a second. I forgot to change it. Okay. KG7 7TR. And then, Mike, if you'll pass it back to me, okay? Paul, over to you. K2LMQ in the group, K6ZSR.
K6ZSR. K2LMQ, Paul in Kingman, Arizona. Good evening, all. And also to Skip and Bill, who just came in. Good to hear everybody. Tonight I'm running the hot water 12A and running that into the SB 220, which is now appears to be running fine. A couple of months ago it was acting up, so I took it offline to figure I'd get to it. And club tried out tonight, and it's running normal. Who knows? Anyway, good to hear everybody. And Mark for mentioning that tonight. The quick story I have on, and I think what happened on this net a few years ago, as a newbie came on the net, and when it came his turn to comment, he said, "I don't know what's wrong, but all of you guys are off frequency." So somebody very tactfully explained to him that we're using analog gear, and he disappeared. That was kind of the story on that. As far as the relevance goes for our hobby and the net and everything, it's positive. Everything is wonderful. I'll tell you, the biggest thing I get out of this is out of the vintage stuff is the enjoyment, a large part of which is the wonderful people, the gang that we talk to, and everybody for the most part is very, very helpful and always willing to help us. And like myself, I'm always willing to learn, and there's a lot that I don't know. But the relevance extends also when we're young into developing a career for us, and just sheer hobby enjoyment, it's just wonderful. That is the story there. I'm going to give it up to Mr. Wayne up in San Diego, and good to hear all you guys. KB6LQJ, K2LMQ.
Okay, thanks, Paul. This is Wayne, KB6LQJ, up in Santinez. And tonight, running the Helicopters SX111 with the, HT37 and a Shure 55 mics through my Collins 30S1. So signals are pretty decent tonight. I was kind of questioning at the beginning of the check-ins, but everything's picked up and the noise level is totally dropped. Anyhow, thanks, Mark, for taking the earlies and working through the pain. Hopefully you're listening and things might be more wholesome tonight. Anyhow, pretty good comments so far about the vintage radios. And, I think that comment that the chap made on 40 meters was kind of indicative, unfortunately, of the way society in general is turning these days. It's like the difference between flying a model helicopter and flying a drone. One is really easy and just do it. The other one is you have to have some skill and have some fun. And I know my first rig that I had was a CS440 with an auto tuner. And it was a fun radio, and I really kind of felt like an amateur radio operator. But then a friend of mine sold me an FT101E where I had to learn about tuning and all those, adjusting the frequency and all. And that's why I really felt like, okay, this is what amateur radio is. And then, just getting to know the electronics and understanding the circuitry, whereas what they call toaster operators for all the movies. And I have a nice modern rig, but it's not nearly as much fun or enjoyable to operate as some of the old vintage gear. Anyhow, I do hope that George is getting better, and hopefully get some updates on him over the next couple of weeks. And, okay, we've got a few people here, so maybe we'll just pass it on and I'll listen for a while. Let's see, it goes over to Glenn, WB6RLC, KV6OKJ.
Alrighty, thank you very much, Wayne. Glenn here, WB6RLC. Let's see. Anyway, so there we go. I don't know. I'm kind of watching my meters and things are kind of weird on this radio. Anyway, so Glenn here, Cathedral City, over near Palm Springs. Operating tonight a Atlas 350 XL. It's 44 for Mike, up to an off-center fed dipole and 32 feet. So, yeah, I like what, John and Rocco and Dennis all said, and, philosophy about the whole thing. Some people even say, CW is irrelevant, because, with all the digital stuff and digital outperforms it and blah, 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 so, it's just kind of, like somebody Wayne just said, it's just kind of how things are now. But the other important question is, are the people like on 40 meters, are those people relevant to my life? You know what? They're not. And I don't give a little people rat's the tootie. Let the guys on 40 meters say, I'm enjoying my radio, and it's my partner ham radio, and it's what I enjoy doing. They got issues with it, that's their problem, not mine. So, they're not relevant to me. So, they don't count. Anyway, so that's about it from me. That's my rant on it. So it goes over the mic there that I'm seeing on the Zoom. KG7TR. It's good to see you again, Mike. WB6RLC.
Okay, thank you very much, Glenn. My KG7TR, way over here in Shoalo, Arizona. And, tonight I'm on homebrew, of course, my homebrew HP75 transceiver. Sure 444 mic, pair of 813s linear. So to the question, if you're talking to younger hams, we've had synthesized VFOs since what, 1983, 40 years now? If you're talking to younger hams, they don't get it. They don't know what an analog VFO is. They don't understand the problems with trying to make an analog VFO be precision, obviously. And as long as we don't splatter outside our bandwidth, who cares if we move around a little bit or if we're not right on frequency down to 10 hertz. But again, they don't get it. Going to Dennis's comment, it's like vintage autos. If you were cruising down the highway in a beautiful 67 GTO muscle car, it was rumbling, and you were doing a speed limit, you had some younger kids go by, they might go, give you a thumbs up. But if you were, and that would kind of be equivalent to maybe a Collins S-line on today's ham bands. Pretty stable, sounds pretty good. Collins did a great job of making their radios sound great. But if you were cruising down the road in a 57 Rambler flathead 6, that might be more like a ICO 753 or a National NCX3 or don't get mad, Glenn, but who is surrounded by Swan radios. If there was an earthquake, he'd be buried in those things alive. They drift a little bit. So those young whippersnappers, they may not appreciate it. I've encountered a couple of people on just talking on my homebrew radios, and they say, I don't know what that is, and I said, well, go look me up on QRZ. So they do, and they go, wow, that's pretty neat. But some of the younger, arrogant guys, those young whippersnappers, they may not get it. They don't get the trouble with an analog VFO, and I would just want to say, have you ever built one? Do you understand the problem novel trying to make an analog VFO stay on frequency? Oh, I didn't think so. But anyway, that's just my 2 cents, and I'll get off my soapbox now and turn it back to you, Mike. Take the KG7.
Okay, Mike, KG7TR, K6ZSR. Mike, due to propagation, there were times where you faded out for at least a minute. I did not get all of that. I got the part there, and I agree with you totally. Have you ever built a BFO? Have you ever seen the drip problem? Have you ever tried to correct it? I get it. I just missed the other points that you made there. Maybe, is there any of you guys on Zoom that took notes there that could maybe relay them to me? I'm trying to write them all down. Okay, Mike, what was the other point?
I'll type them in while you take the next few stations, Mike.
Wait, say it again?
I'll type them in on Zoom while you take the next few stations.
Okay, very good. Thanks. He's going to put it on the chat part of Zoom there, so he'll type it in there and we'll get it later. Very nice. Good thinking, Mike. And, okay, so there you go. Some nice setups here. The Paul with the HW12 single bander. Oh, by the way, Paul, you're cutting out. I don't know, probably mic cord problems like what I've got over here. But a couple of times there you were cutting in and out, but got most of it. And thank you. It sounds good there with the 220. And good to hear you back on, Wayne. The HT37 and 30S1, and Glenn with the 350, and Mike with his homebrew 75. So very nice radios here tonight. Okay, I'm going to take the next 4, and then after that I'll stand by for additional check-ins. So at the top of the list we have WA9JIB Bob, along with NY6LJ, and then Jay, pass it over to DJ, K6RCL, and then DJ over to Matthew, N4DLA. And Matthew, back to me. Go ahead and take it, Bob. WA9JIB, K6ZSR.
Okay, Mike in the group, K6ZSR. It's WA9JIB. Bob over here in chilly La Cañada again. Nice and cool, and a little bit damp. So before I go further, there was one station who was trying to check in at the start. That was Tom, Whiskey 6 Tango Oscar Mike. My guess is he gave up. But you might give him a shout at some point, Mike, and see if he's still hanging on. The band was pretty flaky in around 6:30, but it's much more stable now. So if Tom hung around, maybe he can get in. Okay, I'm on the A6 station tonight, Fox Tango 101 Echo. I just got home from work a little too late to fire up the big iron. So barefoot to my inverted V dipole, hanging off the 35-foot mast. Question, let's see. Yeah, I don't really care about even frequencies. These bands, other than whatever it is, 60 meters, are not channelized anyway. So I reject that critique. I think the people who play with vintage sideband and AM, the folks on our net here, are the most tech-savvy hams I know, because they dig into their stuff, and they're not just appliance operators. So that's good for relevance, I think. And then I could ask the question, you know, you might as well just ask the question, is art relevant? Is the Mona Lisa relevant? Is a Botticelli painting relevant? I mean, girls don't really look like that or wear their hair like that or dress like that anymore. So why should we look at it? Why should we look at a Van Gogh? You know, I mean, his stars were not very realistic, and, you know, we can do a much better job today, so, with modern techniques. Great, but that's not the point, obviously. The point is that these radios are works of art. In addition to their engineering functionality, they're industrial works of art. And as such, they are as relevant as any appreciator of art wants them to be. And my final comment is, if and when we ever get to an electromagnetic pulse, possibly nuclear generated, that's when we'll really find out how relevant these old radios are. Over to
radio room after dinner. So I'm going to have to pick it up on the next go-around for the questions. So sorry about that. I had to take care of some dinner things and kitchen. So I'll pass on my turn, and whoever gets it next, pick it up, and I'll pick it up for the next go-around. NY6L Hesperia. Let me just get in here. My radio's doing what Paul's doing. I got to keep my hands off this cord. Jay, the question of the evening is, let me read it to you here. Is vintage sideband radio relevant today? Is this roundtable relevant? Are these radios relevant? That's the main thing. Go ahead. Oh, okay. Well, let me go and see three-part question. Okay. Yes, vintage sideband radios are relevant, especially the ones that are tubed. Like I have a Collins S line here. Their transmitter receiver are tubed. And I think I read something about it. If there's a possible EMP or something like that, well, the modern stuff might get fried, and the tube stuff will still work. And that, I think, is very relevant to have working vintage sideband equipment, especially the ones that are vacuum tubed. So there you go. And I think this roundtable is very relevant. There's a lot of information here that's been passed around since this net started. And in my part, I think it's very appreciated, and a lot of great people out here with a lot of knowledge, tremendous knowledge, and and the best thing is we help each other. So there you go, Mike. So that's my minute's worth or so thereabouts, and back there to you, Mike. K6ZSR, NY6L Hesperia. Okay, Jay, very good, and by the way, very nice big signal here at the Santa Barbara. And now it goes next to DJ, K6RCL, K6ZSR. Okay, well, I had to readjust my frequency here. We'll see if DJ will come back. This is a good time. Is Tom there, or did you give up the ghost there, Tom? W6TOM. If you're there, go ahead and take a transmission, K6ZSR.
K6ZSR, W6TOM. I didn't know I was on the list. I had a real hard time hearing Mark. How do you copy, over?
Is he still in there?
He turned it back. Yeah, he's S9 in the Bay Area, N4DLA. This is JIB. I'm hearing you in Washington, so make a transmission.
Okay, thank you, Bob, for the relay. As far as the radio equipment being relevant, yeah, I would say it's relevant from the standpoint of historical significance. I'm on a somewhat historical significant radio now. I'm working you guys on a Collins-designed PRC 515 pack set made in Serbia under license by Collins. It's 20 watts PEP, and I'm sending it through my heat kit amplifier here for about 200 watts. So anyway, hopefully everybody's copying. K6ZSR, W6TOM.
What you're saying, but...
Over, Mike.
Okay, Tom, sorry, I just barely hear you in here, but I'm glad that you had a chance to check in. And now over to Matthew, N4DLA, and then pass it back to me, Matthew.
Okay, thanks, Mike. K6ZSR and the vintage single sideband roundtable. This is Matthew, N4DLA in Orinda, California, about 15 miles east of San Francisco. Transceiver is Atlas 210X, running about 100 watts, straight fed, 75-meter sloping dipole, coaxial dipole up 60 feet, and Shure 444 microphone. And thanks again to Rocco N6KN and Cindy for their wonderful barbecue at their QTH, and also thanks to the grill cooks. Very wonderful meaty fair there. And great to meet everyone for the first, that was there for the first time that I've spoken to on the air but never met in person. So it's great meeting everyone. As far as relevance for equipment, it's as relevant as it's maintained.
I'm not saying right.
All my HF equipment, except for one radio, is all at least 33 years old. It's all my Ten-Tech solid-state gear from the 70s and 80s. And this radio from 1977. So I'm from the solid-state generation. So as Fred Dreyer would say, and Hunter, works for me. And just putting it on the air and talking to new licensees about it, and displaying it at events, at club meetings. Those of you who are club members might want to put a presentation on about vintage single sideband equipment or vintage equipment in general. There's a vintage equipment column in QST magazine. I don't know about the other magazines. I don't subscribe to them. I don't know what electric radio's subscription numbers are, but certainly enough to keep it going hard copy wise. So that's what I've got there, Mike. Back to you. Hope you can copy K6ZSR in Santa Barbara from N4DLA or into.
Okay, Matthew, I got some of it. I've got some QRM now.
Man, that's a lot of bleed over.
Right up on top. I think it's coming from up on top. But we'll see. I might have to shift frequencies here when I find out where it's coming from. So I'm going to stop now. Let's see, 7:45. So this will be the last time I'm going to stop for any late check-ins that would like to be on the list. Come now.
K7EZ.
You can go out further, if you want.
Okay, Roger, we got you. Are there any others? Okay, hearing none. That'll be the last of the check-ins there. Okay, so Dave, WJ6W, take it and send it over to Larry, W6WUH. Larry over to Steve, KF6SYD, and then Steve over to Skip, K6LGL. And then Skip, you'll turn it back to me. And then on the next go-around, we have Bill, WHK, and Roger, EZ there. You guys will be the last check-in. So here we go. WJ6W, K6ZSR.
JKN, trying one more time.
Wait, who's that?
Yeah, Whiskey Alpha 6 Juliet Kilowatt November. I had thrown the wrong switch, Mike. Sorry about that.
Okay, go a little slower on your call letters, over.
Whiskey Alpha 6 Juliet Kilowatt November, Kevin and Gilroy.
Okay, wow, what a booming signal from Gilroy. Wow. Okay, Kevin, you'll be the last on the list. And I understand about flipping the wrong switches. I think we all do. That's another feature why we need to save these old radios. And, my two cents, just one comment I'd like to make is that someone told me one time, what do you like about these old radios? And I say they got soul. They got real soul to them. And part of that, you're not going to get that in a new radio. You're going to get beautiful, beautiful, high-tech operation, smooth, silky smooth tuning, everything. But the soul of it really belongs with our vintage radio, stuff that we could relatively work on and get them working again and running. So to me, that's one of the factors there. And then the soul is due to the variety. There's so many of them around. Why limit to 4 or 5 of the major tech gurus here when you could have literally hundreds of these radios? Oh my goodness. Anyway, okay. So with that, we'll start with Dave, WJ6W in the group, K6ZSR.
Okay, Mike, K6ZSR, WJ6W. Well, I don't know what's left to say after that, Mike. I'm speechless. Yeah, very good. These old radios certainly do have soul. And, by the way, I'm running a semi-old radio here. I'm running a Drake TR7 with an old Collins 30L1 tonight. microphone has a lot of soul. It's an RCA 77DX ribbon microphone. Okay, let's see. Well, yes, I would say certainly the roundtable, the radios, all is relevant to me. And as someone said, I don't care too much about whether others think it's relevant or not. Some aspects of ham radio aren't really that relevant to me, like amateur television. Never really been interested in that, but I'm glad some are, and I'm glad that there's a place for them, and they do their thing, and I haven't really gotten into digital to speak of, although I probably will, but it's not that relevant to me. So it depends on, of course, your interest. And, of course, as others have said, the history of ham radio, of electronics, technology in general is reflected in these old radios, and you can see the progression towards what we have today in the latest SDR radios. And they're easier to learn the technology, the electronics, and so on, and the basics of electronics and RF and matching networks and antennas. Really, it doesn't change with new radios. They all have to make all that work, even though it's done drastically different in the SDR radios nowadays. But I think learning what's involved in audio and RF is easier to understand and easier to troubleshoot and fix in the older radios. So I think as a learning tool, they're very good. And I think Bob had a great point about the industrial works of art. That is absolutely true. I remember a commercial several years ago now for a cell phone company where they showed this TV-produced electronics lab where they were inventing something for a cell phone. But on the shelf in the background, you could see a Collins S line, and it was there to project some kind of high-tech device in a test lab. So the beauty and the modernness and the tech look endures in these old radios. So that's my feeling on it, and I'll send it over to Larry, W6WUH, WJ6W.
Okay, WJ6W in the group. W6WUH, thanks, Dave. Got the same idiot 5KC's up splattering all over us, just like every Tuesday. Well, I think you don't even have to say the word sideband in the question. If you talk about vintage radios, the preservation of historic radios and vintage radios, regardless of whether they're sideband, CWAM, what they are, FM, the preservation of historic technology is an important historical endeavor, and keeping the equipment alive means that there's a reservoir of people who have the skills to operate it. Just the same as with a steam engine. You can't walk up to a steam engine and operate it. You'll blow it up, and yourself with it. And so you only have to go as far as the Smithsonian Institution to realize that there's always a cadre of people who dedicate themselves to maintaining vintage technology, because it informs the future as well as informing us about the past. So that's it. A lot has been said about appliance operators. Well, back when I was 12 years old in 1959, I heard people that the home brew guys from the 30s and 40s calling the guys who bought a new National Receiver Johnson appliance operators, and now of course we're vintage radio operators, and we realize that we have skill that the new guys who have AI-operated radios do not possess. And so there's a lot to be said for keeping a reservoir of people who can maintain and operate and understand the vintage technologies. Over to you, Steve, KF6SYD, W6WUH.
Sorry, Larry. Good evening, everyone. KF6SYD, Steve in Long Beach. On the T4XB listing on the R4B. Kenwood TL922 on high power now because of the QRM. And great question and great answers. I couldn't agree more with everyone's response. So I'm going to talk a little bit about, a little off subject, about the relevance of vintage AM or AM as it regards to, because of what happened a little over a week ago with George W6YEC. He checked in early for the Monday night AM net, and when his term came up, he wasn't there. But a few minutes later, there was this big carrier, and you couldn't ignore it. You couldn't run the net because this big carrier was there. And so we all had to stop and listen to it and see what it was. And I was not the first to figure it out by any means, but somebody in the group figured out that it was George W6YEC way away from the microphone. And what he had done is he had been able to kick or flip on with his hand, I don't know which. There's a switch under his desk that he keys all his AM gear with. He was able to get to that switch, and he was not able to get to his phone or his FM stuff or anything. But that's what got him help. And somebody said it was George. I called George's phone number, and I could hear his cell phone ringing. And I could hear George say, I can't get to my phone. And but we got him help, not me, but the group got him help, got him paramedics. And Paul went over there, his 6BZY, he turned off the transmitter and everything. And that was quite a thing to go through and listen to. And poor George. George, wait, I'll finish on AM. I believe AM is still used for aircraft around the airport, where the pilots can double and you can still stand a chance of telling what one or both of the pilots say as they double with each other, transmitting at the same time. That's not possible on FM, and they don't use sideband unless they're way out in the ocean. But hey, letting me talk about AM on this roundtable makes this roundtable relevant. And thank you for letting me do it. George, last night's news was Phil in 6WHK might have a later report. As of last night, George paralyzed on his left side, but is not. He talks just fine. And his mind works very well, and you can call him on his phone, his cell phone, if you got his number. But I try not to bug him too much. He's being transferred over to a rehab therapy part of the hospital, Grossmont Hospital. And because he's beginning to get some movement or feeling, I don't know which, on the left side of his body now, beginning to come back. It wasn't a blood clot in his brain, but a hemorrhage, and that's what caused him to lose his use of control of the left side of his body. Thanks for letting me on, and sure did enjoy visiting with all of you up at Rocco's, and see you guys again when there's another get together. And am I supposed to turn it to? Yes, sir. K6LGL, over to you, Skip. KF6SYD.
Okay. Thank you, Steve. KF6SYD. And the Vintage Sideband Roundtable Group. Good evening to all from Santa Monica, K6LGL. I have a slightly different take on the subject, although all the comments are relevant and interesting. I would compare the classic amateur radio equipment, tube type and hybrid, two things, two categories. One is classic cars, and the other one is classic audio equipment, both enjoying a relatively large support on the part of the population of the world. I mean, especially the Western world. Classic automobiles going back to the late 50s, 60s, and maybe early 70s. These cars, whenever they show up on the street, they attract attention. There's still a need. And it's old technology. Much of it is carbureted instead of, fuel injected and computer controlled, still mostly electromechanical. And yet, people value it. The same way with audio equipment. The classic audio amplifier, when used with a guitar, especially playing rock music, the one thing that you could have a tube-type amplifier, overdrive it, and it does not clip at a very high angle. It clips to the software and produces these interesting sounds, which are one of the more interesting aspects of rock and roll. And this still has value. And even now, certain guitarists prefer tube-type amps. So that we are still, old technology has not gone away because it is relevant, it is still being used. Same way with amateur radio equipment, tube equipment. It relates to that particular thing. Now, part of our community could care less about the old stuff. That's fine. We are interested in a specific thing. There are individuals who are interested in various things, and they have a right to do so. It's like art, it's like cameras. Everybody's doing digital cameras, and yet there are certain photographers still use film, and there's still film being produced. So, each has its advantages and disadvantages. So anyway, that's my take. It is all relevant, but you lead it to whatever is important to you. Okay, I'll take it back to you there, Mike. And conditions are not very good. It's a rough copy on some signals, but we're getting into summer propagation. Now, they're actually down closer to the frequency. I'm down to 948 right now. So a little 50 there. So, thank you for running the net, Mike. K6ZSR and the Vintage Sideband Group. K6 Little Green Light.
Okay, Skip, very good. K6LGL and the Vintage Sideband Roundtable. Alive and well. Obviously, there's about 24 or 5 of us that believe that it's still relevant, or we wouldn't be here. We'd be drinking wine like some people I know. Anyway, so there you go, and thanks for your comments there. Yep, I'd like to say one other thing is of course, we all mentioned the nostalgia and the soul and everything, but I'm saying this probably for the benefit of anybody listening that isn't part of our group, that for crying out loud, you can get some of these radios for $150. I've seen them, Swan 300s and 350s and 500s for going under $200 on eBay. And the beautiful part, the other part of this nostalgia for me anyway, is that if you get tired of radio, put it back on eBay. I guarantee you're going to get as much as you paid for it, or maybe even more. And, and it's beautiful. You take home a radio, you try it, you put it back on eBay, buy another one. It's wonderful. It's like being in a candy store on the cheap. So, I don't know. That's, to me, part of the blessings there that we have. Listen, Steve, thank you so much for amplifying what really happened there with George, YEC. We had an early report from Paul LMQ, but he wasn't certain on how that transpired, that hams were able to come to his rescue. So thank you for clarifying that. And I think maybe we'll give George a few days. He's probably, I know, being in the hospital, you have a lot to contend with. So we all wish him well. We'll keep him in our thoughts and prayers, right? And so very good. Thanks again, Steve. Now, last on the list now is Bill, N6WHK, and Bill, send it over to Roger, K7EZ, and so good to hear you again, Roger. Man, you leave Santa Barbara and then we don't hear from you anymore, so it's always a treat. And you being on there. So, Roger, pass it over to Kevin at W86JKN, and Kevin back to me to wrap it up. K6ZSR.
K6LK. K6ZSR. And 6WHK.
Well, the handle is Phil, Papa Hotel India Lima, and I'm running a Swan 350 Delta through an amp into a coaxial antenna. Very, very quiet antenna. And thanks to George, I have it. He told me how to build it, and we put it together, and it's been working ever since. Well, with George, he's getting a slight bit of movement in his left side. Not much, but he is getting some movement, which that's a good thing. Yes, very good thing. Yeah, when Saturday night, he did key the AM group, and I got a hold of Paul. Paul got a hold of the wife, George's wife, and he got a hold of his son, which lives next door, and Paul went over and they shut the equipment down, and by the time Paul got there, they called the ambulance, and of course, he's in Grossmont Hospital. Anyway, but that's the way the situation is right at the moment. But I am very happy that he does have some movement in his left side, which he didn't have the other day. So, on the topic of the conversation is, I run like Swan. I have a Peach Kit, HW12, Hot Water 12. I have Viking, a Hammerlin, and a bunch of other vintage equipment. I had to have a little knowledge to operate all this stuff. The modern stuff, you just turn it on and it does everything. A 3-year-old can operate the modern stuff. You just turn it on and turn it to the frequency you want, key up and start talking. With this equipment here, at least you have to know how to operate it and take care of it. And that's one thing I do like about it. It's always a little bit of a challenge to keep this equipment working. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to K7EZ and 6WHK.
K6LK. Okay, real fine there, N6WHK. Good evening there to you, Bill. K7EZ. Roger here in Henderson, Nevada. And yeah, it's been a long time since I've been on the roundtable, so hello to all my friends and old friends that have been around here. And tonight I'm running my Collins S line. This is the version 2. My first one I sold on a moment of weakness, and anyway, regrets over that. So I ended up collecting another pair, and they've been slowly coming back to life there. So I agree there with you, Mike, on the old rigs there. You can buy some pretty good deals on eBay or whatever, the flea markets, and bring it home and play with it and bring it back to life. And it's classic. You know, it's something that at one time was the state of the art. That's what I remember. I couldn't afford all that stuff back then, so it's kind of my turn to get it on the second or third time around. Hopefully some of the new hams will take interest in this, like the old tube amplifiers and all the other vintage and classic stuff. So anyway, I'm glad to hear everybody tonight.
tonight. I do have a difficulty speaking for very long times. I have some throat problems, so I'm going to turn it over to Kevin now and give my best to 73s to everybody on the roundtable. WA6JKN, it's your turn. This is K7EZ.
Yeah, well, thank you very much. This is WA6JKN, Kevin and Gilroy. I'm on the Collins KW Sugar 1 tonight with the Collins 75A4. It's you're talking about vintage equipment. Boy, I love this transmitter. I love all old equipment. So I still think it's relevant, it's a single sideband. It's one of the modes that's available. Charlie Whiskey, AM, FM, whatever. So long as they allow us to use it, it really doesn't. I don't think it's relevant just to think that if it's old or new, quite frankly. And as far as the drift is concerned, I think that just a signature of the type of radio you have and whatnot. But let me explain drift kind of in a different way. I'll explain it phonetically. Drift, delightful, roundtable, inspiring, fun times. I'll say that again because I like it. I just made it up. Delightful roundtable, inspiring, fun times. That's what I call drift for an old single sideband transmitter like the KW Sugar 1. It's just fun. Well, that's it for me. Thank you for running the roundtable, Mike. Always do a great job. WA6JKN, and I think it goes back to you.
Yes, it does, Kevin, and that's a good one. That's original, and a nice way to close up the roundtable, that's for sure. And so, listen, I want to thank everybody for participating this evening, and I want to doubly thank Mark. I was supposed to take the earlies and do the hosting because I didn't know what I was doing when I scheduled that. But I made a trade with Rocco, and I didn't realize that I was also hosting on that day. So last minute, Mark decided to take it for me. Even though him and John were pulling my leg, it's classic in the beginning there about me drifting. And I didn't catch on. I really thought I was having problems with my radio. I probably was too, but they kind of amplified it. But anyway, it's really difficult to give out the Golden Cup because everybody really hit on mostly the same things. But I need to give out the Gold Cup, so I'm actually giving a Gold Cup and a Silver Cup tonight. And the Gold Cup goes to John K6KOI. Why? Well, because he was the first one to say that it was educational. And that's why we should keep these radios, and they're relevant because they teach us, and they keep us on our toes. They keep us active. They keep us engaged. So I want to thank you that for John. And the Silver Cup, I'm going to award for honesty to Glenn, WB6RLC. Yeah, okay, Glenn. You get the Silver Cup because he doesn't give a damn. And they're irrelevant. They say you're drifting, they're irrelevant. And I love that. That is the only type of quality that comes out of the desert nowadays. That is, that really patriotism, Americanism, don't give a damn. So for that, the Silver Cup there is yours. So I'm going to send it to John first. I hope you're still there, John, to accept this Golden Award. K6KOI in the group, K6ZSR.
K6LK.
This is 12900.
I think K6LK, was that you?
That's me, Mike. Just want to say hi.
I copy there a little bit, Bill. Go ahead.
I just want to say hi, Mike. So I'll keep it short and let the other guys step in.
Okay, very good, Bill. Sorry conditions weren't better for you and me. But thanks for saying hi, and hi back to you. And now John has left the building, so the Silver Cup is going to Glenn. And Glenn, would you like to say some words on WB6RLC in the group, K6ZSR?
K6ZSR in the group, WB6RLC. Well, thank you very much, Mike. Yeah, I think I've said enough words, but yeah, that kind of wound me up a little bit. So, it's just a great group, and I always enjoy it. So, anyway, that's really about it. I think it's my first silver cup. I'll put it on the shelf next to, I've got a couple of gold ones up there, so it'll be in good company. Back to you, Mike. WB6RLC.
Okay, very good. WB6RLC, K6ZSR. Who I might add is a fellow nostalgic jazz collector on what? Vinyl. Now, and you know what? I just thought of another one. All you people that are against our tube radios, remember what happened to digital, those, what do they call them, DVDs? Oh boy, they were going to take over the audio market. Well, last month, vinyl surpassed DVD sales. CD sales, I should say, audio CD. They surpassed it for the first time, and it looks like it's not going to be abated. So there's something. If you don't like, maybe we've got a resurgence going here in ham radio as far as tube and vintage equipment is concerned. But anyway, both Glenn and myself are vinyl collectors, and especially jazz. So there you have it, folks. 73s to everybody. It's been a really good ride here as being host on the Vintage Sideband Roundtable. And I hope we can get together on 3895 during the week. We could use that reflector. If you want to get on the air, it only takes one or two stations to get on 3895, and we got a whole following. So let's keep that in mind. If you want to get on some 3895, put it out on the reflector. And I'm sure there's going to be followers there that will come on frequency. So very good evening to you and to everyone. And remember our friend George there, YEC, in our prayers. So good evening, everybody. K6ZSR.
Thanks for hosting, Mike. Good evening.
Hey, thanks, Mike, for a great net and some great comments.